The one flag, the Tiga, and Nishan is the flag. If anybody touches,
But if it is a fire on the opposite building, your daughter is there.
he is firstly it's not recognized.
Good day, everyone. We welcome you all to the first episode of PPSU Diaries, the official podcast of PP Savani University, where we educate, empower, and engage India's youth through the voices of visionaries and achievers from our society. I, Harita Harshal,
I, Dr. Bindesh Patel, welcome you all. And today, our first guest is Air Marshal Anil Khosla, sir. He is the 42nd Air Vice Chief of the Air Staff, and he has been awarded with Param Visishta Seva Medal, Ati Visishta Seva Medal, and Vayu Sena Medal. So, no one can be the better guest than this for our very first podcast.
we welcome you, sir, to our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Harita.
Yes, sir. So we'll be asking you a set of questions to get to know more about Indian Air Force as well as you as a person, your personality also. So my first question to you as an individual will be, in most of your interviews, and some of them, as well as I have seen, you give a disclaimer that my views expressed in this interview are completely personal and are not related to the Indian Air Force. How much is this kind of a disclaimer important for you as an individual from Indian Air Force?
Yeah, very valid question, Harita. See, what happens is now we have 24/7 news channels and so many of them. So, to make the news worthy, they always, try to make it catchy and catchphrase and try to twist the words of the people who say. Number one. So now that I've retired 6 years back, and I got nothing to do with the government of India or Indian Air Force, and whatever I'm saying is based on my analysis of the situation and what I've been following on social media and open domain. So it's very essential to clarify in the beginning that these are my personal views and not of the government of India or Indian Air Force, so that the words which I utter cannot be twisted or attributed to Indian Air Force. It's very essential for it to be clarified from the beginning itself and not create any controversy later. That is it.
Correct. So
Thank you,
we
sir.
take in this podcast also as this is a personal opinion, and we will
I'm
consider
sure
that as
you
a
don't ask any controversial questions.
yeah.
Yes, sir. We have no
We will, sir.
contribution.
Yeah. So, sir, let's start with the questions. We are from PPSU University, and we want this podcast to be very helpful for our students and our viewers who will be the parents of the students or future students. So, my first question is, sir, I have heard that your father wants you to be to doctor, and later on he wanted you to be Navy officer, and then you have choose the Air Force. How you convince your father? Because in India we have seen the career of a children has been selected by the parents. So how you convince him that you wanted to join the Air Force?
Not very difficult, and I didn't have to convince my father as such. Let me go into a little bit of my personal life here. You're right. So what happened was my father actually was a workaholic. He used to really get involved in his work a lot. And I wonder at times that maybe he didn't even know which class we are in. But his logic was very simple, and those days the revenues also much lesser. So his logic of my becoming doctor was that my brother joined engineering, elder brother, he's 5 years elder to me. But he's become engineer, so he become doctor. So that was his logic. So in class, we used to have higher secondary 3-year board exam, 9th, 10th, 11th, so I took biology. Then 1 year down the line, I realized that my maths is my favorite subject. So without telling anyone, I went to the maths teacher and convinced him, and he took me to the principal, and we convinced him to give me a chance to study maths also along with the biology and physics portion. And with the promise that I will cover up 1 year portion on my own. And my teacher helped me, and that was maths is the only subject I got in distinction.
Okay.
And biology I just passed. Anyway, that was school days. Then when I joined services, my elder brother by then had joined up. And my father was in Air Force earlier. So he said his logic was that he joined Navy. The reason is I'm in the Air Force, my father, brother in the army, and in the Navy, the photograph of both
Great.
So my school was next to a field, defense field, and we used to see hunters make 21 flying throughout the day.
Correct.
I think maybe that left a impression on me. So I said, no, I'm going to join Air Force. So I joined Air Force. My mother said, 10 years, I'm not years to fly, don't fly.
Yeah.
So, like, if I have to join Air Force, I'm going to fly. So anyway, I took those decisions, and I think parents
Get
knew heart and heart that I will do this, and they accepted it.
when you are convinced, you can convince your parents. Yes. So we can say that whatever you have seen the dream in your childhood to become to join the Air Force, you have achieved that, and we can say that you have achieved in your life just because you have followed your passion.
Two things to it. One is that I don't think I had a dream or something. Maybe in retrospect, maybe the things affected me mentally. As I said, my school was next to the thing, and grew up in the Air Force environment. Maybe that left a lasting impression. And one thing led to the other, and God was very helpful in me getting into it and achieving whatever I did achieve. So that was it. And second part, which you said, is very, very essential. That I keep telling younger generation also now. Do what you like and like what you do. Or do what you love and love what you do. That is very essential. So because if you love what you do, you will put in your 100%. You will give your best. That is very important.
Correct.
Yes, sir. So we heard about your career and how you decided into it, but were you very well disciplined even before you started entering into Air Force, or did you inculcate discipline into your life? Because all of our students are like, they have the starting, they can start it immediately, have a short-lived passion, and then they cannot continue it due to the lack of perseverance and discipline. So how did you inculcate discipline into your life?
So, very important subject here touched upon that is discipline. Discipline is a very important part of life. And I'll come back to discipline. Let me finish the personal part of it.
Yes.
I'm told by my parents and all and family friends that I was a very, very naughty child.
Okay.
But naughtiness is a different thing from being indisciplined. Naughtiness is maybe innocent
Yes.
naughtiness or not following the rules. And indiscipline is intentionally knowing that that is wrong and doing it.
Mm.
So when you talk about discipline, my education is not discipline. You should be discipline. It should be self-discipline.
Yes.
Self-discipline
Very good one.
means doing the right thing when nobody is watching you. That is very important. And yeah, to some extent, as I grew up to have classes in school, I was quite disciplined in my approach. And by the time I joined India, of course, you get discipline in all sense.
Yes.
And let me tell you one more thing. One is self-discipline I talked about. The other thing is discipline is not only being rigid or being parade and duty and in the military and salute, and that's not discipline. Discipline has got a very, very big connotation, and it involves all facets of life. Your monetary discipline in life, your sleep discipline, that means when do you sleep, and you the children are sleeping at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, getting up at 11 o'clock is harming their health. Your food discipline, you're ordering food from outside, so food discipline. So discipline has got a lot of connotations. So in your life, discipline means not being, it doesn't mean that don't enjoy life. It means two things. One is do things right which are good for your body, for your psyche, for your health, physical health as well as mental health. Okay. And second part of the discipline is to respect others' space and others' discipline. Road discipline. If you follow road discipline, there will be no jams, there will be no street fights. So the discipline has got a big connotation. So one is related to your mental health and physical health, and second is the respect for others' space.
You said very well things, the monetary discipline, food discipline, sleep discipline. Today's we are observing that it is lacking in our youth. They consider as a freedom, but they are not seeing as an indiscipline. Correct. So my next question is based on this only. Can we impose a mandatory military training, same as the Singapore or the Israel has done, to Indian youth? What are your views on that? So that can we incorporate discipline our youth through mandatory military training for 2 years or something?
Yeah, so the examples which you are giving, Singapore, Malaysia, Israel, these are very small countries. The population is not much. So having a permanent country military service 2 years or something is not practical in our country. The reason is it's costly. So military training is not cheap. You have to equip them, you have to give them clothing, you have to feed them, you have to spend money on their training, training infrastructure, training equipment, training book. All it's quite expensive. Task is not cheap. So can we afford it? That is one thing. Number one. Second thing is, yeah, it will have a long-term effect in the sense these people they will get disciplined, of course, but when they go out, what next? So it's not practical. However, India has started this Agniveer scheme, which is a partial fulfillment of what you're saying exactly.
Okay.
So that means you are increasing the base of people who are peripherally trained, who are disciplined, who are skilled, and who have nationalistic feelings.
Yes.
So the things which you want to achieve by permanent military training. So that's an entrenched step. So that is a good step. Let's see if it progresses further and fructifies and benefits other. It will have benefits also, although it has got challenges also. But having a full-fledged 2 year everything compulsory, I don't think is practical at the moment in our country.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So, after career and discipline and changes that you can bring with regard to training the youth, I would like to ask you a very important question because I have seen that you have led several set of attacks from the side of our country, especially Doklam or Balakot. And what is the most challenging decision as the Vice Chief of our Indian Air Force that you have taken so far?
Yeah, that's a very pertinent question. Decision making. Decision making is a art and exercise both. And I've done some research on decision making because it's one of the important factors in strategic leadership. And what happens is, as an individual, we take decisions every day. From the morning you get up, what are you going to have for breakfast is a decision. Okay, what are you going to do during the day is a decision. Whether you're going to enjoy on a Sunday and go for a movie or a picnic is a decision. So you're taking decisions daily. But as you grow higher and higher in service, what happens is your decisions start affecting your people. It's not individual decision.
Yes.
And as you go, like say, if you're commanding a unit, SISCON, your decision may affect say 500 people or their families included, then maybe 3,000, 4,000 people. But as you go command a station, the number increases to 25, 30,000. As you command command, then you got several stations, and that's similarly you got to a headquarters by chief level. Entire Air Force is affected in lakhs. And similarly, in other domains also, like politicians, their decisions affect the whole country. So what happens is, as you go higher and higher in the senior ranks, you have to have very word is considered decisions.
Yeah.
You cannot take ad hoc decisions. You cannot take half-baked decisions. You have to think about the issue. You have to consider the pros and cons of the issues. You have to consider the advantages, disadvantages of the issues. You have to consider what are the repercussions of that the same long term and short term, and then decide. So decision making is an art, and there are tools available to improve your decision making ability. I'm not going to that; it become very boring. But as a vice chief or as a CMC, quite a few decisions which took, which needed a lot of deliberation and what should I say? At times they were difficult also because why difficult is those decisions may be harsh on some people and maybe generally good for the others. So that becomes very, very difficult to take whether I should take this decision or not. And the second thing is uncertainty, whether my decision will be correct in the long run or not. So that also plays on your mind. So nowadays even artificial intelligence has come in, which assists in decision making. But human mind is finally important. You have to go by your intuition finally. And you can't rely only on artificial intelligence.
Correct. So as you said about decision making, we have seen, at least we have seen in movies, not in reality, that in Air Force particularly, the pilots or army person gets very less time and they have to take the very big decisions which can impact so many people, as you said. Then how is it a part of training, or how do they are being trained in such a way so that they can take the decision very quickly, and that is also in very good favor?
So what you see in movies, firstly, it's all dramatized. Over dramatized, not dramatized, over dramatized. To make it sensational. It's not so. But how the decision which you're talking about, say pilot, you're taking like the Air Force or similarly in other services also. Pilot more so because the machine is moving at a very fast speed,
Yes.
almost 250 meters in a second. Like 1 second you are here, and second by the time you blink your eyes, you're 150 meters away.
Correct.
So that is 3 football fields away.
Oh
Yes.
So that kind of speed you're walking, moving at 15 kilometers in a minute. So what happens is things like as a pilot when you're flying a fighter aircraft, there's certain situations arise where you have to take a split second decisions called.
Okay.
So if you don't, then the machine can go out of hand, especially in case of a failure or an emergency situation where some portion is not working well. They are called act emergencies. That you have to straight away act. You delay, you freeze, and you will end up in trouble. You will crash or you will lose your life also. So of course, there is a training for it. Okay, like in the Air Force, for flying the aircraft, you go through the emergency sections every day. You know every part of the aircraft. You know what are the actions to be taken. They're drilled into the mind. They're embedded in your mind. And similarly for other services also and other situations also, the training helps. And peacetime training and considering those situations, going over wargaming it is called. So you wargame all the situations. If this happens, I will take this decision. This happens, I will take this decision. So we have to wargaming. If I have taken this decision, this is what is later. Maybe it is wrong, I will take this. So you are doing that as a peacetime stage. So you are getting trained for it. So the training helps a lot.
Okay, so I can relate that because I have heard that Indian Army, every aspect, Marine, Navy, or if you get Air Force, they are trained very well compared to other countries. That I've heard that even we have less technology compared to other countries, but we have performed very well in few wars just because of training. So can you just give a brief about how intensive our training is compared to other countries and what we are doing special so that it makes very, what is it, strong Navy, Army, or Air Force?
Yeah, you're very right. I will touch only one part of the whole question. Say our soldiers, our airmen, our sailors do very well. There are a lot of reasons for that. So, highly important technology in the war is becoming very, very technology intensive and it's affecting the warfare. But the human factor is very, very important in the warfare. Even if you get the latest technology, it doesn't mean that military is ensured because there's a man behind the machine. And when I talk about human factors, training is one part of it. The second part of it is emotional quotient of the people, the motivation of the people, the motivation when I talk. The Indian soldiers, you heard in the army units, they written Naam Namak Nishan. That means name of the unit, Namak Hai Pratika, and Nishan is the flag. If anybody touches, he will be very, very aggressive about it. The flag, if you remember Kargil, is 4875 पे तिरंगा लहरा दिया. It's got a lot of meaning for that chap. When he goes and puts that flag, it's a victory for him throughout his life. That moment will stay in his life throughout. So he's fighting for that. Okay, nobody can disrespect the unit, nobody can disrespect his officer, nobody can disrespect his flag. So that sort of motivation is required. Training, of course. And training is very, very essential. When you get a new technology, you should know how to operate it, you should know how to learn it, how to use it effectively. If you are not trained, the technology is no waste. History is replete with examples where people have got latest technology but failed to use it effectively because they're not properly trained for it. So training is part of one of the things in the human factors. So there are other human factors which are also essential.
Okay, so sir, you said that why is very important when you are taking the part is a part of training. For example, it is for my country, so that becomes a very important part when you are fighting a war. Same I have seen and I've heard when you are taking any actions and you are taking decisions, the why is very important. For example, I have heard somewhere on the YouTube that if anyone wants to make you walk between two buildings on the 10th floor, you won't walk. because it's a very scary on the very small road, matlab small block. But if it is a fire on the opposite building, your daughter is there, then you will walk no matter what, because right now your why is very clear ki I want to save my daughter, so you will be walking between the two buildings on the 10th floor that you can, because your why is clear. So my next question is based on that. Now India has gradually started the building the weapons and everything as a part of making India. So I assume that India has a now why is clear that now we want to be independent on the production of the weapons and the defense technologies. So sir, my next question is how we can accelerate that, how we can produce more and more weapons and everything in India, and how we can encourage our youth to create the startups and innovation in defense direction.
Yeah. Then you put 5 things in one question.
Sorry for that.
Okay. I'll take 30 seconds on first few parts and then I'll come to the main question. So first part is you talked about why this thing. So certain things get embedded in your head, like safety. Like you took example of walking on the 10th floor on a tightrope. So it's like some things embedded in your mind. Like from your childhood, it is embedded in your mind that if you put your finger in the socket, electrical socket, you will get fired, correct?
Yes.
And if somebody forcibly takes your hand towards it, you will jerk it back.
Yes.
So that is the kind of thing which is embedded in the mind. So as far as safety is concerned, very essential. It should be that way. Second thing is you talked about why part. So the leadership style is changing now. Now the new generation, you're dealing with the students here.
Yes.
See the level of their knowledge the same. It's on the fingertips. In our time, all this knowledge was not available. Because of the internet, because of whatever it is. It's on the fingertips. Their awareness level of the world affairs and the national affairs and the world in general is much more than in our generation. So that why part, which is very essential. So the leadership is changing from tell type to cell type.
Yes.
What it means is tell type is कि मैंने आपको बोल दिया ये करो and you have to obey. Like अभी when you're talking about this आपका हुक्म है. That's what they say, but it's not that so. If you explain to the person why are you doing it, his acceptance and his involvement in the task will be that much higher. Because he's a thinking man. He's got information. He'll be wondering why am I doing it? Why am I wasting my time here? So if you tell him that there is a third level also of leadership in this. If you make him part of the decision making and make him feel that he has taken this decision, he's part of the decision, his involvement will be even more.
Yes.
That is as far as leadership is concerned. Third thing you brought out is about Atmanirbhar Bharat. That we have realized the why part. No, we have not realized the why part. Why Atmanirbhar Bharat has come out is it is essential. It is a must. You take any major military power, they are self-sufficient in defense production, defense industry, defense R&D, and they have their well-established defense industry. All the recent wars, this is one common lesson. Even pandemic, COVID, this lesson came out very strength-filled that you have to be self-sufficient in a lot of things. Not only defense manufacture, but other things also. It's a full topic in itself. You can go hours debating on that. I will not go into detail. So it's not a realization of why, it is a necessity at the moment of this thing. The fourth part is we have joined I won't call it a race, we have not joined the race as such, but this necessity or the pathway a bit late. Okay, so now we need to catch up. And we need to leapfrog in such a way that when we reach the next stage, we are at par with the world. It's a difficult task. And next you ask was how do we go about doing it? So we are on the right path. In last 7 to 10 years or a decade or so, we have given a lot of push. Government has given a lot of push on self-reliance, Make in India projects. There are 17 odd verticals. They're inviting technology, transfer technology from outside. Technology parks are coming in. They're bringing in private sector. The ease of doing business, the bureaucratic hassles are being cut down. There are a lot of factors which are yielding results slowly. So we are on the right path. Only thing is we need to change gear. So if we have gone into 5th gear, maybe we need to go to 5th or 6th gear. And secondly, we need to spend a lot of money, which we are doing. We are going into advanced technologies also. R&D is going on. We are on the right path. We need to increase the speed.
Correct.
Yes, sir. So we have been discussing a lot of things. I would like to bring the trajectory once again back to layman's world. My question would be, I have seen a lot of people of this generation as well as other upcoming generation, even students, working professionals, they have a lot of issue with regard to stress management. And a large number of youth falling under the category of 18 to 35, they sort to suicidal attempts, or they are taken to asylum rehabilitation centers. So for a persona like you who might have seen large number of decisions where stress played a major role, how do you think that stress can be managed effectively?
Yeah, you're very right, Shita. It's a life problem. Even as I grew up in service, even services are facing this issue. It's not only that, it's a full culture, it's a full society. And defense forces are from the same society.
Yes.
People in defense are not aliens, they're not come out of Mars. They're from the same society, they're from the same culture. So what is happening world over? It's not only India, the world over, this problem is coming up. And there are 2-3 reasons for that. One is, main problem to my mind is this smartphones and internet and availability of social media as such. As I said, it's a good, in many sense, like knowledge is available on fingertips and awareness is there, but it does a lot of damage also. So, like defense services, they thrive on, as I said, our life depends on each other. So, bonding with each other, talking to each other, living with each other, drinking with each other, eating with each other, doing things with each other. That's how you bond. That's how the Indian family system was earlier. Joint family. If one child had a problem, there were 15 people to help him out.
Yes.
As well as physically, correct?
Yes.
The child is born, there are uncle, aunts, cousins, everyone looking after the baby also along with the mother and father. So those values which we picked up over the years are getting diluted slowly and slowly. Secondly, we are getting too much involved in the social media. You see, anywhere you go, you can walk outside just now out of the studio and you see students sitting next to each other in the phone.
Using the phone, yes.
On the phone.
Yes.
Right? So these things are eroding the older values and also creating some sort of a stress. Third thing is the social media. What is happening is a lot of I should say fictional things are coming up. Now with the AI, it will become even worse.
Yes.
You'll see a lot of content which a person will feel that maybe he should also do it and he should not be able to do it, or if he's not able to do it, he's a failure. That sort of feeling comes in. So to catch up with the social media, to stay abreast or to outdo it, that also causes stress. So these are 3-4 factors which are causing the stress.
The pressure of missing out.
Pressure of not being able to do what is shown, which may not be realistic.
Yes.
No social support from outside, from human to human contact. So all these factors cause stress, and which is leading to these sort of tendencies. I would say it also become a fashion, to engage a counselor and go and
Yes. Trauma healing.
Yeah.
Yes, very fancy words.
Yes, fancy words.
Joint family was quite good system where I think we should get back to maybe not joint families as such, but some sort of a support system. Friends are very important, all good friends, and where you can talk it out and so we need to deal with this life problem at the moment. World over, not only in India.
It reminds me of my mother, so because my mother always says to me that this generation is a very pampered generation. My mother used to hit me till 18, 19 when I was 18, 19. But now, as of today, I have not hit my daughter because now we want to care, because earlier we didn't have that luxury or everything. But right now we are making more comfortable environment. We are pampering them, and because of that, I think they are getting more the person who cannot handle the stress in the future. But I think you said so very correctly.
I will not comment on this aspect. You are a grandfather now. So I was married once, I've gone through that. I was a parent, so I've gone through that phase. And now I'm seeing my grandchild. So I will not be into this debate as such.
So you follow gentle parenting or the strict Indian Asian parenting? Which kind of parenting style was yours?
No, we generally followed this thing. I never touched my children, but they were still
discipline.
I won't say scared of me, but they will still respect my
Yes.
Yes.
My wife once in a while discipline them, and but like we never see earlier the debate used to be in your house. Don't say no to the child.
Correct.
If you don't want that thing to be broken, put it higher, beyond his reach. In our house, we never remove things, but we never had occasions when the chicken had done damage to anything or something. So I think whatever we did was right. Anyway, every parent feels that what they're doing to the child is right. So I said I would not get into this debate. Everyone has got his own way of doing things, and if it works, it's good.
Okay.
In the end, the child should grow to be a good human being.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
When I went through your profile, I noticed that you have given a lot of talks as a public speaker, and especially on leadership skills and things related to those topics. So something which I found from my student side as a professor of my students, I would like to request you to give an insight of how to inculcate confidence in particularly to public speaking skills. I would like to ask this question because I have seen a large number of talks I have given or the interviews or whatever you do. There is an amount of confidence in it.
Okay, very right. Well, people have stage fright.
Yes.
And here in life, one very person with a wisdom told me, when you go on stage, think they're all idiots sitting in front of you. I said, later on, don't take me seriously. There's no idiot sitting in front. They're highly known people, and as I said, this generation, even when you're talking to youngsters, you have to be very careful. You have to be very factual, and you cannot get away with false or tall stories.
Yes.
They know whether you're shooting or you're saying correct.
Yes, within click they can check
So don't take this advice seriously. Just on a So only advice which I found it very useful was another very knowledgeable person told me that when you go on the stage, you're a salesman. You're selling an idea to the person, not person, to the crowd in front of you. So if you have to sell that idea to that crowd, what do? You have to be convincing.
Yes,
So what does the
definitely.
salesman do? He convinces you that this product is good for him and you should buy it, you should spend money, you should take it, correct?
Correct.
That is what it is, public speaking. That you, and to convince the crowd or the spectators, you should know much more than them. So if you know much more than them, you have to do research, you have to study. That's why I said being a student is easy, you are professors yourself. You will realize being a student is easy, but being a teacher is
very difficult.
difficult.
Yes.
So that is what it's all about, stage listening. And then also 40 years if you stay in the service teaches you a lot of skills, and public speaking is one of them. And that confidence automatically comes in because of being exposed to the speaking in various forums and national as well as international and various groups and various this thing. So automatically confidence also comes in. So public speaking is an art which can be developed, and these are the tips, maybe few of them. But you have to research and you have to learn much more than this. Also, one of the person said that when you're talking initially, give only 40 or 50% of what you know.
Okay.
Need something for the Q&A session and because if you give 100%, firstly the people will get put off. So keep it short actually.
Correct. Very concise. Yes. So, sir, I think you have a very vast experience in Air Force and Army Force and everything. Can you give us the 2-3 problems where student can do the innovations or startup, which area they can go and they can explore as the startup culture is booming in India? So at least we can encourage the students or audience who can pick up the problem and then they can try to find a solution for that.
Yeah. So you brought out a very, very important part. Defense production or defense industry is a defense ecosystem. So the ecosystem has 4 verticals. One is the thinking part, which I covered briefly in my talk earlier. So thinking part where the think tanks come in, the military think tanks, then where the students come in, where the academia comes in, all the institutions which are there in the country, IITs, colleges and schools, which think what can be done with that technology. Then is your R&D, then is your manufacturing, and then the user. So these are the 4 pillars. So the schools and colleges, universities are very, very important part of this ecosystem. And what is happening is the marrying up of defense technology or defense needs and the academia, that means when I'm talking about academia, think tanks and university, is taking place now. There are a lot of IITs where the military is talking directly to IITs and the IITs understanding the needs of the country, the needs of the defense forces, and defense forces are understanding what the IIT can produce, which is quite a lot. And that's how all the colleges, universities have come out with incubator centers, startup incubators, and that's taking place. But it needs to be happening at a much larger scale.
Yes.
So what I suggest is, like in case you have an incubator center or you want to encourage your students, especially technology based or any other field also, make a sort of group which scans what is latest happening in defense forces, what is happening latest in warfare, what is happening latest in technology, and how this technology is getting absorbed in this, and you will get all these ideas.
Okay.
The second thing what you can do is, get in touch with the defense forces, whatever closest units and other things, interact a bit much more, understand. Maybe you can have conducted tours of these students who are interested and take them there. Third thing you can do is invite people like me to, I'm not saying invite people to give you talks on more of defense, not only for defense, from R&D, from HL, from PPSU, from private industry to give you a talk who are dealing with defense needs.
Correct.
So these are 3-4 things which you can do to improve your incubators which you want to progress in your college or university.
Correct.